Apple's first major design refresh for the iPhone happened with the iPhone 10, and it was back in 2017. And right now, since it's almost time for the iPhone 12 series to launch, how is the iPhone 10 holding up? And also, if you're planning to buy an iPhone 10, is it a worthy option? Well, this video is all about that. Even now, the best part of the iPhone 10 is actually two things, which is the build quality and the performance. So the design, as you can see, is good and a familiar one, which is the glass sandwich between a metal frame, and this frame is stainless steel unlike the soft aluminium. And that does make a lot of difference with the overall structural strength. I mean, the phone, on top of being very premium in hand, is also one of the phones which has the best build quality. There is literally no gap or any flexing, and overall it still feels of top quality. Well, for sure there are scratches and scuffs on the frame, and also the glass has been scratched, but that's normal stuff happening with aging tech, and the core things that matter with the usability still works without any issues. And those things are the buttons and the only port, which is the lightning port. Well, the reason I said the only port is because you might know that the iPhone 10 doesn't have a headphone jack. And lastly, with the design, the protruding camera module is also holding great. So it's basically because of all this, I did say that the build quality is still the best with the iPhone 10. And that's the same thing with the performance too. I mean, this is a 3-year-old phone and still it works like a high-end new Android phone. And that's expected with iPhones, and the Apple A11 Bionic chip is still a good one, and therefore there is not much issues regarding the performance. Everyday normal tasks are lag-free, and in general, everything is smooth, and overall the user experience is very enjoyable. Games work without issues, even though the phone does get a bit hot while doing intense tasks, but still, since there isn't much lag, I can easily daily drive with this phone. And also, this phone still has the latest version of iOS, and for sure the iPhone 10 will be supported for maybe 3 years in terms of software support. And by the way, the 3GB RAM might seem low, but actually iOS is not a RAM agree operating system, and hence I didn't face issues regarding RAM management too. Well, these are things that does matter a lot when it comes to user experience, and the iPhone 10 is well covered in that aspect. And actually, to an extent, even the camera is still not bad. For sure, it's not going to match the new flagship phones in the 50,000 range, but if you put it head on with the 35 to 40,000 range Android phones, I'll pick the iPhone 10's camera any day over those phones. On the rear, you get two 12 megapixel cameras, in which one is a wide angle one and the other is a telephoto camera. And your shots from the main sensor are actually pretty great if there is enough light. In such a situation, the photos are sharp and the dynamic range is decent. But when it gets dark, then the camera does struggle a lot. And actually, it does get more worse with the 2x telephoto camera. That sensor is only usable if there is more than sufficient light. And here what I did miss is an ultra wide angle camera, but then since the video recording is pretty good, if your priority is into that, then you're surely gonna love this camera in the iPhone 10. And about the selfie camera, well, it's a 7 megapixel one, and even though it's not the best, it does the job pretty decently. The frame is small, but the overall quality is good if there is some form of light available. And by the way, I do still like the portrait shots captured with the iPhone 10, even though it's not perfect. So till now, things did age pretty well, but one area that hasn't been good is the battery. Well, that happens when phones age, but here the 2716 mAh battery is not that big, and hence even if it's a new battery, it's not going to change stuff that drastically. With the unit I have, the screen on time I got is approximately in the range from 3.5 hours to 4 hours with moderately heavy usage, and I feel if it was a new battery, maybe that time will be stretched to the 5-hour mark. So from that, what I can conclude is that the iPhone 10's battery will only last a day if the usage is average to moderately high. And for very heavy users, you'll probably need to charge it twice a day. But here the good thing is that the phone does support fast charging as well as wireless charging. So if you have those chargers with you, then you can utilize that because the included charging brick with the iPhone 10 is the basic 5-watt one. So that's about how the battery has aged, and now the next thing is the display. And if you recall, the iPhone 10 was the first iPhone to sport a OLED display with this notch and also very slim bezels on the rest of the sides, and even now this display based on quality is good. The display size is 5.8 inches, which to be frank is a perfect phone display size, and now the notch thing is not going to bother you much after using the phone for a couple of days or so. And overall, since the panel is well calibrated and also given the fact that the display does get fairly bright, you can enjoy content in the iPhone 10. There is no uneven lighting or any tinting effect even after this long, and that's what I call a perfect quality control. And on top of all this, the display does have support for 3D touch and even True Tone. And if in case you're wondering about the resolution of the display, well, it's 2436 by 1125, which gives a pixel density of 458 ppi. So that's all pretty good, but here the reason I didn't rate this display still as one of the best features of this phone is because right now most of the phones in the 35,000 plus range have pretty excellent panels with higher refresh rate and stuff, and they are also bigger and gets more brighter. And when you do a comparison with such displays, then the iPhone 10's display is not gonna top them, but will stay as a good feature of the phone. And also about this notch, well, you might know it's for Face ID, and this is the first gen Face ID sensor, but still it works fine. The angle of unlock and speed is not exceptional, but still it's decent. And by the way, the iPhone X is IP67 rated, which means it's water resistant. And about the number of SIM supported, it's just one, which must be a nano SIM. Then checking the speakers, well, the iPhone X has a dual speaker setup and it does get moderately loud, and also the sound quality is good too. So even though there is no headphone jack, the loudspeaker can help while consuming content. And by the way, the earpiece is still a good one for calls too. And lastly, the Bluetooth version is 5 and the phone does have NFC and all the sensors. So that's everything about the iPhone X in late 2020. Well, after checking all this, one thing that should be easy to figure out is that the iPhone X is still a great phone. But that great tagline is only applicable when you place this phone in the 40,000 segment. And right now, I doubt whether you can get a brand new iPhone X, so the probable option for anyone looking to buy the iPhone X is to get a second-hand one. But then that segmented pricing will drop, and if it's the best quality used one, then I'll say 35,000 is the max to pay for. And that too if the storage is 256 GB, because the base variant of the iPhone X just has 64 GB storage. This is still one of the best phones to hit the market, and that's noticeable when you hold it. This much quality and perfection is hard to get in most of the flagship phones launching now, and therefore if you're an iPhone X user, I'll recommend to keep using it for maybe a year or two if you don't have issues regarding battery or something else. That's all for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If so, a like is much appreciated and a sub would be great. See you again in the next one. Till then, bye.